Rise and shine, everyone. Nihal Teachers here. Today I will talk about my lesson plan that I used the story called Three Billy Goats Graph as a basis. In this lesson, I will try to incorporate multiple intelligence types to engage with different types of students. And this is an intermediate level activity, so you can use this lesson plan if you are working with students between the ages of 10 to 12 or maybe even 10 to 14. So keep that in mind. Let's begin. First of all, I did share a little bit, but I will share the aim and objectives of this lesson. Then we will continue with pre, while, and post activities. I will talk about our little assignment, and I will give you my closing thoughts at the end. So, I hope this doesn't scare you because I write down so many things. I wrote down so many things on the screen, but basically, we already mentioned the aim a little bit at the beginning, but we will try to engage with different types of students through fun and interactive activities, mainly role playing. And also, at the end of this lesson, at least I'm expecting, but I'm sure that my students will gain understanding about different perspectives of this story. They will analyze it from a moral and existential standpoint. They will also do group work, so they learn how to work collaboratively and create creative things. And also at the end of this lesson, we will of course mention, but if you're familiar with the story, there are three goats trying to pass the bridge and trying to deceive the troll to pass it on safely. I will ask my students to create alternative ways to pass this bridge, so I'm sure it will help them developing their critical thinking skills. So let's begin with the warm-up. First of all, me as a teacher, I will read the story, but while reading the story, I will use my mimics. I will use mimics, gestures, and I will also change my voice. For example, while the little girl talking to the troll, I can make myself really small and give myself little horns, and maybe I can talk in a very little and very kind voice because I'm a little goat. And if during some point of this story a troll is talking to the goats, maybe I can make myself a little bit more bigger and I will talk in this voice so they will know that I am a troll. I'm a big bad troll. Okay, so I will basically give them an example for the next activity in this warm-up. I'm sure you're all familiar with the old game called Giant and Dwarf. When you say giant, students stand up. When you say dwarf, students sit down. So we will play different version of this game, related with the story. When I say little goat, they will do the exact same thing that I did, and maybe they can make some noise as well. And when I say maybe big goat, big brother goat, they will do like this maybe. And when I say maybe troll, they will do like this, and it would be a very fun and a very simple game, but I'm sure we all would enjoy. Then we will move on with our while activity. As you can see, I wrote down some steps: drawing, planning, and acting to make sure that you understand my points easily. I will divide my students into 5 groups, and I will assign them each a character. So the characters are little goat, middle goat, and big goat, the troll, and the bridge. Yes, bridge is a character as well in my activity. So after assigning that, I will ask my students to draw these characters in their own way. Like if maybe they can give a little cute pink ball to the little god, and maybe they can give like big fangs to the troll. They will creatively do it on their own. And I would also want them to uh, about this goes to planning, of course, but I would also want them to write down the characteristics of this character as well. Yeah, sure, it's already mentioned in the story, but they can add on their own characters. And also, um, since we will, act out as well, and I will inform them about that, I want them to, create some maybe rhymes or some small music uh, about their character. Yeah, okay, so now it sounds a bit confusing, but it's not. I just sometimes it's very hard to find the right words, but I'm sure I will during a lesson. Um, so they will, you know, uh, create some kind of a rhythm. Maybe it can be like clapping like this. Maybe they can sing a song like before the character, entrance. Like little God is walking down the bridge, kind of thing. I don't know. They will use their creative brain to do this. So basically, they create their own character, by drawing, writing down some characteristics or even maybe lines. They will organize a. Uh, they will organize this role, collaboratively. Then the best part is I will take my students to outside, uh, the garden side of the school, where it's more, I'm sorry, where it has some, bushes and trees, so they can feel more into this story, since it's about the nature and the animals. Then I will ask the group bridge to form some sort of a bridge. Maybe they will stand parallel to each other, so they can create a way. Then I will ask group troll, maybe one person from the group, one or two maybe, to stand close to the bridge, and one by one the gods will pass the bridge. As I mentioned before, maybe one student from each group can play the character, but the others will, shout out some things, give them some directives or ideas. And before they enter, they will like clap, they will sing, so we will know that which character is coming. And during this whole acting, this whole theater session, I will also maybe try to challenge my students by asking some things. Oh, little goat, let's see how you can cross the bridge this time. Or can you? Those types of things. I will, ask small questions. And maybe you realize that maybe, or you're thinking that the group bridge is very passive, but no, they had to create their own lines as well. We're stepping a little bit out of our comfort zone, so maybe each animal passing by bridge can ask them like question. Oh, middle god, do you think you can pass this bridge this time? Those types of things. Yeah, that's about it actually for the while activity. And in the class recap, we will all come inside and sit down, and they will probably be a bit tired and excited, so I'm not gonna bore them too much. Probably at this point I will be tired as well, directing all kinds of students to create this animal theater. But it would be fun. It's like it will be sweet. It will be painful and sweet at the same time. So during this wrap-up session, I want my students to question some elements of this story. Like, do you think a troll eating the gods is a good thing? or troll is why troll is all alone under the bridge, what's he waiting? Or do you think like ghost tricking the troll this way or causing the big disaster at the end is um, morally acceptable? Those sorts of things. So to keep their gears moving and try to look at this story from different perspective, so they would not just see this story as a child's story. um, it will enhance its meaning and they will be able to understand this story in a deeper level, at least I hope. And at the end, I want to, at this point, we, of course, incorporate so many intelligence types, but probably there are some things I left out. But I want them to create some logical solutions, and I want them to comprehend this whole story by themselves as well. So when they go home, I would love them to write down a short paragraph about what they think or what they learned about from the story. How are they feeling? Maybe which character they felt most related. And also I would love them to write down again. I mentioned at the beginning of this video about some alternative solutions for goats. If you were a little goat or middle goat or big brother goat, how would you pass down this bridge? What would you do? How would you trick the troll, or will you even trick the troll, deceive the troll to begin with? Maybe they can find. I mean, they're kids. They will find their way. They will create different solutions. I just want again to keep the gears in their brain working and again give them a different perspective of this story, so this story doesn't just stay as a story. It would have a different meaning to them. Thank you for listening to me. I mentioned this in all of my lesson plan videos, but don't forget to praise your students and give them encouragements and clap, not when they need it, but when it's appropriate. Clap all the time. Give them good jobs, give them golden stars, and encourage them all the way, because what they're doing in this lesson is very brave. They're improvising, they're acting it. I'm not kind of improvising, but they're creating things on the spot. They're not aware that we are going to focus on the story, or we are going to do a role play of this story. They just learned this fact and they're trying to do their best to work this thing out as best as they can, so their efforts are meaningful and they mean the world to me. And I'm sure if you are trying this lesson plan out during your lessons, you will see the students' efforts, and I'm sure it will touch your heart at some point. Their shiny eyes, their trembling hands, and just like I just like I was in this presentation, they will have a hard time finding the right words, or they will shy away, or sometimes they will have some little slip ups, but they will talk, they will do it, they will get over it. And it's a very big thing. I can empathize with them, and you should too. As a shy and introverted student myself, this whole lesson, the activities itself would be very fun, and I will be very excited to do that, especially the planning stage. But I would also be terrified, because acting out in front of everyone, and maybe right now I would feel more comfortable, but during the earlier stages of life when you are young. You know, it's really hard. You want to make yourself proud. You want to show yourself to your peers. You want to look cool and you don't want to make mistakes. So it has a lot of pressure to the students. And please, while acting this lesson plan out, keep that in mind and make sure to give encouragements all the way to your students. Thank you so much for listening to me, and I hope you enjoyed. So that's all from me. Bye bye.